Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Excuse the messy hair and the sort of thrown together makeup look. I was trying to do a smoky eye using only cream shadows for a makeup challenge that I'm doing on my blog. Failed horribly and ended up taking all of it off, and I just had to throw something on to film the video because it's quite late and I'm not sure how much longer I will have decent lighting. But I went for a sort of natural look using some of the products I'm going to share with you today. If you read the title, you probably know this is going to be my August favourites. There is a lot, so please grab yourself a cup of tea if you want, because this is a long one. I am going to start off with skincare, because I've sort of been a lot more into skincare recently. Trying out a couple of different things and finding what works well for my skin. Now, in my lazy morning skincare routine, you saw me using the Nivea Daily Essentials Control Shine Mattifying Gel Cream. This is still a favourite. This is a complete new one, by the way. I used the old one up completely and I purchased a new one. I've been using this one along with the two products that I have here. I bought a sort of skincare sample set from Clean Skincare, which is a pretty expensive brand, but it was their 3 products from the Evercalm series. So it was a cleansing milk and their global protection day cream, which is this one, and their anti-redness serum. So I've been using the serum twice a day under both my morning moisturizer and my evening, and this one as my morning moisturizer, so my daytime moisturizer, and I've been using this as my nighttime moisturizer. And I do love the way they sort of work with my skin pretty well. It hasn't been overly drying, it hasn't been sort of, I don't know, a lot of sort of breakouts and blemishes, so I've had a pretty good skincare round for a couple of weeks now, except for a couple of breakouts last week, but it happens. So I've been loving using all these 3 products together. Next up, I have a cleanser, and this is their Garnier Micellar Cleansing Water in Oil. I've used about half this bottle. I do love this a lot for removing makeup, using it as a cleanser slash toner before applying my moisturizer, both in the mornings and the evenings. And I think this helps keep my skin clean and fresh and awesome. It's not super greasy on my skin either, which is something I was a bit worried about because it does contain oil and my skin can get a bit oily sometimes. But this has done a pretty good job of just keeping my skin clean, and also I find after using this regularly now for a couple of weeks, my skin has become a lot more sort of stable, so it's not super oily some days and super dry others. It's become sort of more stable, and I do contribute that to this and all of the 3 previous showing skincare products. Next up is a face mask, and this is from Lush. It's their Love Lettuce Fresh face mask, and this is, I've just taken this out of the fridge, so I'm gonna have to go put it back. It's a green face mask, and it does have sort of gritty particles. I use this when I get out of the shower every single time, so it's about 3 times a week, and I put this on when I've just gotten out of the shower. I let it sit on my skin for about 15 minutes. And I then go wash it off, and it has sort of gritty particles, so it works as an exfoliator, gets rid of dense skin cells, and my skin just feels super soft. Next up, I have sort of body care. So this is not makeup, but it's everything else. And I'm going to start off with eye drops. I wear contacts or glasses, it depends on what I'm feeling and how my eyes are doing, but my eyes can get pretty dry from wearing contacts through the entire day. I have these Systane Ultra High Performance Comforting Eye Drops, which I was given by my optician, I think they're called, when I first got my contact lenses, and these have kept my eyes from becoming really sore and red when I have to wear my contacts for a lot of hours during the day. I just drip this into my eyes in the morning, usually before putting my contacts in, and I also use this at night if my eyes have been feeling sort of sore and dry and just not their best. These can be used with or without contacts, and I just think they're brilliant. If you have sort of troubled eyes, you could probably give this a go. Next up is a hand cream. Took me a second there. And this is the Soap and Glory Hand Food, and this is in the Sugar Crush scent, which was a part of their trio that he released last Christmas. I'm not sure if this is a permanent one or not, wish it was, because this smells so amazing. The Sugar Crush scent from the Soap and Glory line is probably my favourite. I just love the fresh sort of lime scent. I think it's gorgeous and so nice. Next up is a lip balm, and I love lip balms. I have a lot of them, a lot more than one person needs, and I've been working through all of my lip balms so I can buy more, basically, and just using things up before buying new stuff. This one is from Nivea, and it's basically, it's got like a day's worth of use left. It's pretty much used up, and this is their Hydra Care lip balm with SPF 15. This is a very light lip balm, but it has so much moisture that it's amazing. I was a bit unsure about this in the beginning because it felt pretty light and almost a bit greasy on my lips, but it has so much moisture and it keeps my lips super soft for so long. It's amazing. Next up, for body care kind of thing, I have also from Lush, and this is their Ambrosia shaving cream, because I have pretty sensitive skin all around my body and my skin gets pretty red whenever I shave it, so I've been using this whenever I shave, and it's helped so much. My skin isn't irritated anymore and the shaving itself goes a lot quicker. So if you're looking for a shaving cream, I really recommend this one. It's super easy to use and it also leaves my skin pretty soft. Next up, I have two perfumes that I've been mixing together, and this is the Chanel Coco Mademoiselle and the Body Shop White Musk Libertine. I love these two mixed together. They're beautiful on their own as well, but the way I've been wearing them recently has been with 1 spritz of this and 2 spritzes of that, because this smells a little bit stronger and sort of lingers a bit more than I find this one does, but I love the combination of this together. It's just so nice. I can't describe smells though to save my life, so this scent reminds me of summer, and this one is sort of my women's scent, if that makes sense. It makes me feel grown up even though I'm a child, let's be honest. But it's such a gorgeous sort of feminine scent, and this reminds me of spring and summer, so I've almost used this up as well, and I really hope they still have this because I need a lot of it more because I love it. So next up is food, and I have food and drink basically, and I have one item here that I can't show you because I've drunk it up, and it's the, I'm looking there because I have it written down, the Alpro soya milk with chocolate flavouring. It's so good. I've sort of started eating and drinking a lot less milk and dairy products. I say that I eat cheese every morning because it's pretty much the only thing I do eat, but I don't drink regular milk. I drink lactose-free milk when I do because lactose makes my stomach go bad. So, but I've been trying soy milk for the last couple of months and recently tried the one with chocolate, and it's my favourite. It's got such a nice and rich chocolate flavour. It feels like I'm drinking proper chocolate milk, and I don't really care that it's a soy milk kind of thing, because soy milk have that sort of aftertaste that I'm not too fond of, but I can sort of live with it. But the chocolate one, it tastes so amazing. I just love it. And the second one is sort of honourable mentions because I have them here today, and this is some beautiful looking cupcakes. One of them nearly fell over there. And this is from Fairytale, which is a sort of bakery slash restaurant in Trondheim that I would recommend if you ever come here. They have amazing cupcakes, and in here I have red velvet, Oreo, Passionfruit and chocolate, as well as creme brulee. I've not opened the box or eaten any of them yet because I'm still full from dinner and I kind of want to eat everyone at once when I first start. But I went there today. Today is September though, but so that's why it's the honourable mention. But it sort of reminded me of how much I loved the place and how much I loved their cupcakes, because I've been there before a couple of times, but not too often because I live sort of a little bit out of town, and going into town can be expensive. But now that I go to school in town and I'm there anyway, today I went down there for lunch with a friend, and I had some cupcakes and I brought some home with me because they're delicious. So that's just an honourable mentions. If you're ever in Trondheim, go to Fairytale because It's amazing. Next up is a book favourite, and it is Harry Potter and the Cursed Child Part 1 and 2. I loved this. I went into this thinking this will probably not give me the same kind of feel-good feeling that I get from reading the original Harry Potter books, which I have. I just finished the 7th one before starting this one actually, because I've been reading through them because it gives me motivation for school. I went into reading it with a pretty open mind because I had no idea what the story would be about. I knew it would be a sort of manuscript type thing, so it's not a normal book basically, and I was a bit worried that I wouldn't get the sort of feel-good feeling that I get from the original Harry Potter series, but I loved it. It made me cry, I laughed, I got the feel-good feeling as I always do from the Harry Potter universe, and if you like the Harry Potter universe, I do recommend reading this. Don't keep your hopes up if you're expecting like a full-on novel like the other ones, because it's not. For me, the fact that it was sort of written in this manuscript type style, it made it a bit easier for me, I think, or it allowed me to use my brain and imagination a lot more, because I had to sort of imagine a bit more everything, because not everything is super detailed in here, but I loved it. I thought the story was amazing. I love how it ended and everything. It just made me so happy. So if you like Harry Potter, check it out. And after reading it, I really want to go see the play as well, but it's always sold out. I don't have the money to buy a ticket, and I don't have the money to travel to London either to see it, but things might change and we'll see how things go next year. Next up is an accessory favourite, and I have these earrings. I'm going to zoom in on them for you. They are triangles, and I just think these look so gorgeous when they are in my ears basically, and I just love them. For that, I've been using them quite a lot over the last couple of weeks. And then we have arrived at the last bit of my favourites, which are the makeup section. And I'm going to start off with foundation. This is the Clinique Superbalanced makeup in the shade Alabaster, and this has been a foundation I've used quite a lot. It's also the one I'm wearing on my skin today. It looks a bit dewy today, but I haven't set it with a powder or anything, and I've just slapped on highlighter. That's what you do. But I love this foundation. It's amazing. It sort of sets onto my skin, so I don't necessarily have to set it with a powder unless I want to. And I just think the finish is so natural and not over the top. So I do love the way this looks on my face. Next up, I have a powder, and as you can see, it's nearly used up, and this is the Rimmel Stay Matte powder in transparent. I will get a new one of this because I love it so much. I've been using this almost every single day when I've worn makeup this past like 2 weeks especially, and I just think it's an amazing powder. It keeps me matte all day without leaving me cakey, which is a bit of a challenge for a lot of powders because my skin has a lot of dry spots, particularly around my chin and around my nose, but that has managed to keep my skin matte, not overly oily, but also looking like skin. Next up is my favourite bronzer, and this is from The Body Shop, and it's their bronzing powder in light matte. Hit pan on this as well pretty well, and I do love this. This is my favourite bronzer, and I use this for contouring as well, sort of bronzing up my face. Because it has such a nice undertone. It's not overly warm or orange, but nor is it super sort of ashy and grey, and I just think it works amazingly if you have pretty fair skin like I do, if you want a multitasker for bronzer and contour. Next up is a face palette, and this is from Sleek. It's their Blush by 3 palette in lace. You can see the mess, there's the camera, but it has 3 gorgeous shades. One dark sort of, I don't know, dark orange, one a bit more of a reddish one with shimmer, and one sort of, I like saying true orange, it's a bit lighter than the top one, and the 2 on the sides are sort of matte and the one in the middle is shimmery. The quality of these blushes are amazing. They're super easy to apply, so pigmented, super easy to blend and look amazing on the skin. I've been loving this. recently, and if you're looking in the market for sort of warm orange corally blushes, check out that palette because you won't be let down at all. Next up I have a setting spray. I dropped said setting spray, and this is the NYX Dewy Finish setting spray, and this is my second bottle of this because I love it. I was not sure whether to put in the matte one or the dewy one for this month's favourite because I've used them both and tested them out to see which one I like the most. I do think I like the dewy one because I think it makes my skin look a bit more like skin, because my skin isn't super matte to begin with. It's kind of got that dewy finish anyway, and this sort of makes my skin look like skin, and that's all I ask for. It keeps my makeup in place for hours, and it takes away any powder look from any powder that I put on top of my foundation. Next up I have an eyeshadow palette, and this is from Sonia Kashuk. It's their Iron Neutral Matte in 02. I wish you could get Sonia Kashuk in Norway because the colours in this and the quality of this palette is amazing. Yes, it's very dirty. Apologise for not cleaning it, but it's got such a lovely range of all matte colours that can work so nicely with any other palette or any other shadows. If you're looking for a nice sort of matte white or any sort of highlights, the top row is amazing. You've got a lovely black, and sorry for that, and a lovely sort of dark brown, and a lot of very sort of mid-toned browns for putting in your crease and just doing whatever you want. I tend to take this shade right here. I think this is a gorgeous, it's a bit on the sort of warmer side of brown. It's also the one that lacks a bit of pigmentation I find in this palette, but it's gorgeous when it's on the eyes, and I just love this palette a lot. I also have a single shadow to talk about, and this is the Makeup Store Micro Shadow in Animal, and this is the prettiest taupe shade I have ever seen. It is sort of taupey with a brown undertone, and it's got this sort of silvery shimmer to it. I can't explain this colour, it's gorgeous. I do find that it is a bit sort of sheer and ends up looking a bit frosty on its own, and I do tend to use this with a base underneath. But it's such a gorgeous colour, it's so nicely pigmented, it blends super easily, and it looks so nice on the eyes, and it makes my eyes look really blue when I wear it. Next up I have a brow product, and this is the NYX Micro Brow Pencil in the shade Blonde. I wasn't sure what I would think about this because I never understood the appeal of having sort of super thin pencils for doing your brows, because that would take a lot longer than using a bigger pencil. In my opinion, I've always thought that. I've been using this sort of every day for the last like week, and I love it. I think it's perfect if you want to fill in your brows sort of naturally and not overdo them. And it's also a great thing if you have very thin or sparse brows and you need to do a lot more filling in than what I necessarily need to do, because I just literally filled in some sparse areas and gave my brows a similar looking shape today. Took me about a minute using this, and I just think it's amazing. Next up is also a eye product, and this is the Milani Shadow Eyes and Almond Cream. I have been using this as a base under pretty much every eye look that I've done for the last month or two. I've also been wearing this a lot on its own when I've just not bothered with eyeshadow and want to sort of take away any veins on my eyelids. And I do love this. It cancels out veins so nicely. It looks natural when it's blended out. It's got good coverage. And it stays on all day without creasing, and not a lot of cream eyeshadows do that on me because my eyes tend to get oily through the day, but this one stays on without any trouble. And lastly, I have 4 different lip products. You can't actually see any of them there, but I'm going to start off with a lip liner, and this is the Milani Colour Statement lip liner in the shade Nude, and it's just sort of a nice natural, and I wouldn't go too far to say this is a very nude pencil. It's very sort of natural and sort of your lips but better kind of colour, and I do think it looks awesome on its own or underneath any kind of lipstick. So I've been loving this. It stays on so nicely, it glides super smoothly onto your lips, it's not drying, and it doesn't make your lips look dry or cracked or anything like that. So huge plus, and it's also very affordable, which is great. I also have a lip gloss, and this is the Clarins Instant Light Natural Lip Perfector in 01. This is such a comfortable lip gloss to wear. It's not got like a lot of colour to it, but it sort of evens out your lip colour a bit, makes it look a little bit pink. It's nice and nourishing and moisturising, and I just love the way this feels on my lips. I then have the NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream, and this is in the shade Stockholm, which is such a nice sort of light brownish nude. I'm gonna do a little swatch for you there, and this one looks so nice on the lips. It's super easy to apply, it's not overly drying as you would expect with a sort of matte lip product, and it also feels really lovely on the lips. It's not like, it doesn't dry down like a liquid lipstick does, but it sort of feels comfortable on the lips, and it's not uncomfortable in the slightest. And lastly, I have the e.l.f. Matte Lip Colour in the shade Tea Rose. And when I first bought and tried this, I was a bit unsure because it turned out to be a little bit more sort of cool tone lilac than I was expecting it to be. But recently, I've been loving wearing this on my lips. I think it looks pretty cool because it's not something that I normally do. But I do love the colour, I love the formula. It's not a drying lipstick at all. It lasts amazingly on the lips, and it just feels like a regular lipstick, which is a huge plus. And it doesn't dry my lips out, and my lips can get dry super quickly. So thumbs up for e.l.f. for managing the perfect matte lipstick formula. One of the few brands that I've tried that can do that. And that was basically it. I was going to put in my sort of bullet journal. This is a sneak peek of it there, but I'm thinking maybe doing a separate video on that. So leave in the comments below if you will be interested in seeing how I keep myself organised with school and blogging and YouTube. And thank you so much for watching. Please leave in the comments below what your favourite product of August has been, and I will see you again next time.